My name is John Clark, and my job is I am executive chef and managing partner of the restaurant Foreign Cinema in San Francisco. I've always liked eating. I've cooked a little bit as a kid in college because I seemed to be the only one with a cookbook, and my mom cooked and tried to show me things so that when I went away to college that I could fend for myself. So I cooked for my roommates in college. I really enjoyed being out in restaurants. My parents never went to restaurants when I was a kid. So in high school, when I had money, I started going out to restaurants, and I enjoyed that aspect of it. So it was when I started cooking, it's not so much a job per se as it's a life choice. I don't necessarily think of myself going to work. It's just another way of doing what I pursue in life, which is food and eating and dining, and it's fortunate to just be a total life experience. Well, I think something that isn't something that a person leaves feeling nourished, and I think a place that's a gathering house, a gathering place for people, so that the food is part of the experience, the camaraderie they have with their friends, their dates, whatever, is part of the experience. All that is, that's the life that's involved. That's the idea of breaking bread with your friends, and that's the point of a restaurant like ours. A restaurant is a multi-level experience. Great food is not enough to bring people back to a restaurant. Great service alone, maybe. But it's important that it be a combination of elements. Food, your service, your staff, that they're friendly. Ambiance has a lot to do with it. And also the synergy that's created with those three elements. I think it's great when everything comes together and it seems like when people arrive that they feel like they've arrived at the place they had been dreaming of. And the fact that it is truly a 3 or 4 ring circus happening all at once. So we have a dining room inside, we have a dining room outside, we have a dining room in an art gallery, which is very fantastic. We show films on 35mm so that there's a projectionist that shows up and operates the equipment to project a film on a wall outdoors. That's pretty exciting. I think it's exciting that we have a really dynamic wine list. I think the food is good. I think the space it's huge, tall ceilings. I think that you're never feeling cramped in this place, and I don't mean that from a COVID perspective. I just mean when you show up, it's like you're in a hall. It's like you're in some place that's bustling and busy and exciting. Like a train station, a little bit like a train station. Well, yes, members of Green Day we're personal friends with them. Green Day did a bunch of guitars for us. We've had Foghat was here one night, Mick Fleetwood was here one night. We had guys from all kinds of bands here. So many bands, I literally, the names get out of me sometimes. David Byrne took up residence here for a few weeks when he was in town one year. We've had Beck. We've had all sorts of folks with famous writers, some actors and whatnot have shown at the restaurant. It's a pretty well-known restaurant. We had Yo-Yo Ma here a week ago. He came for dinner and he made a reservation for brunch the next day. Wine and food. Wine and food. It's an incredible science for some people. I tend to think if you really like the wine and you like the food, you'll probably like the two together. There are some wines that are more suited to some foods. You can still drink a red wine with fish if you want. It kind of depends on the dish. You don't want to drink anything, and it depends on the wine. You don't drink something too robust or rich with a fish, it kind of obliterates it. You also look for a component when you're having wine and food together that they complement each other. So if the food is a little rich and fatty, you might want a wine that's a little bit more austere, a little leaner, maybe something a little tannic to help break it up. Vice versa, if you have a really lean dish, you might want a slightly richer wine. But some people think it's an acute science. I think that there's a lot of room for movement in it. Everybody should start tonight with a cocktail. I'm an older person, so my favorite drink is something like a martini or a Manhattan. But I really enjoy the flavors of alcoholic beverages. But there are all kinds of really great drinks that go with food. Right now we do a drink that was created here by our main bartender, named after one of the other bartenders, a woman named Colleen. She's been here for 20 years. The Colleen is a drink that he changes every 3 months, but it remains the same. It remains the same name and the same idea. It's a vodka-based fruit drink. It gets rave reviews, whether it's passion fruit or another fruit that he chooses to use with it. It's a great drink. I think it's a good way to get a meal started. You have to be careful though. You don't want to get too drunk. Thank you so much. I think you have fun trying to edit this into something great.
It will be great. I'll send it to you.
I appreciate you thinking of me, and
you're very cool.
It's great. Thank you so much.
Before we stop the video, we can get a little thing. Okay. Thank you. What's your name?
My name's Chris.
And what do you do here, Chris?
I'm a bartender, been here for 10 years.
Very cool. What's your favorite part about working here?
Oh man, all the people.
All the people.
I'm a chatterbox, I love talking to everybody.
Awesome. Thank you.
These are my boys, the Wesley twins.